Gentlemen, ladies, respected members of the Academy of Oh damn, did you see that? We need to talk about something that has captivated artists, poets, and unsuspecting pedestrians for millennia. Something that has caused traffic accidents, inspired Renaissance paintings, and made grown men walk into glass doors. I'm talking, of course, about curves. Not the mathematical kind, though honestly, there's definitely some advanced geometry involved here, but the kind that make you forget your own name for a solid 3 seconds. Welcome to the magnificent architecture of the female form, a gentleman's appreciation. Fair warning, you may experience sudden appreciation for biomechanics, an inexplicable urge to take up sculpture, or the overwhelming need to say "good Lord" out loud. This is normal. Let's start with the basics, shall we? The female form is essentially nature showing off. It's like the universe said, you know what? I'm gonna create something so aesthetically perfect that people will write songs about it. Plural, thousands of them. Consider the engineering, the graceful slope from shoulder to arm, the elegant transition from collarbone to décolletage. Yes, I said décolletage, we're being classy here. And then the waist. Oh, the waist. That miraculous narrowing that defies all reasonable expectations of human anatomy. It's like nature installed a built-in exclamation point. And just when you think, surely this can't get more impressive, boom, the hips arrive like the grand finale of a fireworks show. This isn't just a body, this is a statement. This is geometry with attitude. This is what happens when physics decides to collaborate with poetry, and they both have a really good day. Scientists have tried to explain this with ratios and proportions. The golden ratio, they say. Mathematical perfection. Sure, John. Or maybe it's just really nice to look at. Sometimes a masterpiece doesn't need a thesis. Sometimes it just needs to exist and make people walk into lampposts. Now, if the stationary form is a masterpiece, the form in motion is a straight-up natural disaster. And I mean that in the best possible way. When she walks, not just walks, but walks, it's like watching controlled chaos. It's rhythm and swagger and confidence all wrapped up in heels that probably cost more than my car payment. There's this sway, this hypnotic pendulum-like movement that seems to operate on its own frequency. Scientists call it gait. I call it the reason men forget where they parked. The hips move like they're keeping time to music only they can hear. Left, right, but with emphasis, with intention, with the confidence of someone who knows exactly what they're doing and is thoroughly entertained by the wreckage they're leaving behind. And the heels. Oh, the heels. Those magnificent instruments of both torture and triumph. They don't just add height, they completely redesign the physics of movement. They create this elegant elevation, this extension of the leg, that somehow makes every step look like it should be accompanied by its own soundtrack. Click, clack, that's not just walking, that's percussion, that's rhythm, that's the sound of confidence with a backbeat. And here's the kicker. She knows, oh, she absolutely knows. There's this little smile, you've seen it, that says, yes, I am aware of the effect I'm having, and yes, I'm enjoying this immensely. That's not arrogance, that's artistry. That's someone who has mastered their instrument and is giving a sold-out performance at Carnegie Hall. Let's talk about communication. Because these curves, they speak. Loudly. Not in words, obviously. That would be weird and possibly a medical emergency. But in a language that bypasses the brain entirely and goes straight to the oh wow center of human consciousness. The arch of the back? That's a sentence. A very persuasive sentence. It says things like, yes, I do Pilates, and I have excellent posture, and you should probably sit down before you hurt yourself. The curve of the hip? That's an entire paragraph. It discusses topics ranging from biological imperatives to the aesthetic principles of classical art to the question of whether it's possible to fall in love with geometry. Spoiler. It is. And the silhouette, that glorious, unmistakable profile, that's poetry. Visual poetry that would make Shakespeare throw down his quill and say, you know what? Words aren't good enough for this. I give up. This is communication on a primal level. This is a conversation that's been happening since humans figured out they had eyes, and those eyes could appreciate things. And the best part? This language is universal. It transcends culture, era, and personal preference. From ancient fertility goddesses to Renaissance paintings to modern Instagram, humans have always been absolutely mesmerized by curves. We carved them in stone. We painted them on ceilings. We dedicated entire museums to them. If that's not appreciation, I don't know what is. Now we must discuss the strategic deployment of fashion. Because curves plus the right outfit, that's not getting dressed. That's psychological warfare. The little black dress, the fitted jeans, the pencil skirt. These aren't just clothes. These are weapons of mass distraction. There's a reason men in relationships develop this specific skill. The ability to appreciate the female form while maintaining socially acceptable eye contact. It's kind of like playing emotional Jenga while someone's actively shaking the table. "Does this make me look good?" she asks. Sir, that dress doesn't make you look good. That dress makes Renaissance artists weep in their graves. That dress makes traffic lights jealous of being able to stop traffic. That dress is a public service announcement in fabric form. And then there's the genius of strategic reveal. The modest neckline that somehow becomes more tantalizing than a plunging one. The skirt with the slit that offers just a glimpse. The off-shoulder top that frames the collarbones like they're fine art. Because here's the secret. The most seductive thing isn't showing everything. It's showing just enough to make imagination do the heavy lifting. It's suggestion. It's implication. It's the visual equivalent of to be continued. And that, my friends, is advanced level psychology wrapped in cashmere and paired with stilettos. But here's where it gets really interesting. Here's the secret ingredient that transforms a beautiful form into an absolutely unforgettable presence. Confidence. Not arrogance, not bravado, but that quiet, unshakable knowledge that she is exactly who she's supposed to be, curves and all. Because you can have the most incredible figure in the world, but if you carry it like you're apologizing for existing, that's a missed opportunity. But when she owns it, when she walks into a room like she's the reason the room was built in the first place, when she has that smile that says, "I know, you know, we all know, so let's just acknowledge this and move on," that's when it becomes transcendent. That's when curves stop being just physical attributes and become a whole vibe, an energy, a force of nature. It's the woman who laughs with her whole body, who makes eye contact like she's issuing a challenge, who wears her curves like a crown and dares anyone to have a problem with it. That's not just attractive, that's magnetic. And let's be clear, curves come in infinite varieties. Subtle curves, dramatic curves, athletic curves, soft curves. Every variation is its own masterpiece. The common denominator, the woman who wears them with pride. That's the secret sauce. That's the magic ingredient. Confidence is the ultimate accessory, and it makes everything look better. Throughout history, humanity has been consistently, reliably, obsessively captivated by the curved female form. We've worshipped it in temples. We've painted it on cave walls. We've sculpted it in marble. We've photographed it in every conceivable way. We've written enough songs about it to fill several lifetimes worth of playlists. From Venus of Willendorf to Marilyn Monroe to Beyoncé, we just can't help ourselves. And why should we? Why should we pretend that the female form isn't one of nature's finest achievements? Why should we act like curves aren't objectively delightful? This isn't objectification. This is appreciation. This is recognizing artistry when we see it. It's the same reason we stop to admire a sunset, or a perfectly designed car, or a really excellent piece of architecture. Beauty deserves acknowledgement. And curves? Curves are spectacular beauty in motion. The curve isn't just a shape. It's a cultural touchstone. It's a muse. It's inspiration made flesh. It's proof that sometimes, just sometimes, the universe absolutely nails it. So here's to the curve. The magnificent, mesmerizing, absolutely distracting curve. To the women who carry them with grace, humor, and unshakable confidence. To the silhouette that has inspired art, music, poetry, and the occasional traffic accident. To the walk, the sway, the whole glorious package. This isn't shallow appreciation. This is recognizing excellence. This is giving credit where credit is cosmically due. If you understand that curves are not just biology, but artistry, if you appreciate that confidence and curves together, create something truly spectacular. If you've ever lost your train of thought mid-sentence because, wow, hello, then you're in the right place. Subscribe, join the Academy. Let's continue to celebrate the magnificent architecture of the female form with respect, humor, and an appropriate amount of awe, because some masterpieces deserve a standing ovation. And gentlemen, we've all been standing this whole time. And remember, it's perfectly acceptable to appreciate art. Just maybe watch where you're walking.